That didn't work out.
Yeah, look, it did.
Hello, guys. We're
Hello.
live. Did we somehow miss that banner yesterday, you think? That was like a nice announcement.
No, but we clicked the button after. It doesn't. This is off topic.
Okay. So, welcome to Feature Fest Day 3. I promised Lauren that I would handle the intro, and here I am already messing it up on a little side conquest. So, intros, I'll try to make it slightly more brief, and yet I feel like I have more to say today. I am Hannah. I am a serial entrepreneur that somehow got waylaid into working with Lauren by my own volition. And Lauren is the brains behind Once Coupled, which is like the most prestigious development firm for all of bloggers, if I say so myself, at least from my time working as a project manager with you before we ended up in this crazy scenario. So, why Feature Fest? We both had passions of varying goals and pursuits. I wanted to, I guess, like drop the entry fee for bloggers so that they can get an awesome theme, an awesome product, and get their online business really up and running. And Lauren wanted to open up her development skills to more people without having to work in one-on-one client capacities, because a lot of the client requests can be done in a way where it's more available via products. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Sure. There's always something technical that I said wrong, but we're just gonna glaze over that part. So it's been surprisingly harder for us to launch creator theme than making super custom pixel perfect sites for clients. And that's a lot of what Feature Fest is about, is building an opinionated child theme that you guys want, because that's what we're used to doing, is listening to what you're telling us to do. So we're here to be bossed around, and we would love for you guys to participate. And with that, I will let Lauren hop into all of the boring techie stuff. Wait, no, I have one more thing. Today is the most boring day.
How dare you start with that? How dare you?
Anytime Lauren is like, I've got a client delivery, they're going to be so excited. It's a header and footer and a homepage. I'm like, womp, womp.
That's the basis of the entire site.
And after working with you more, I understand that this is global and it's really important. And like the header and footer impacts everything. And Lauren makes a better header and footer than anything ever. I always will try to create a site, and then she goes and just like makes a few little tweaks. And the next thing I know, it works so much better because of these global changes. So it's super important, even though it sounds super boring. But if from the outside looking in, most boring day ever. Proceed with your tech.
Okay. I'm going to give Hannah this one a little bit. Watching me build the header and footer would be pretty boring. So I think we're just going to like start with one I've already built. Cool. And then we're going to talk about other stuff mostly. Also, because I know it's a Friday, it would not be fun to just sit here and watch me edit stuff, which there will be a little bit of that. But if I were to build a header and footer from scratch, that probably wouldn't be fun. So basically, I want to like, I know we talked, I think yesterday and maybe also the day before, or mostly the day before, we talked about headers, and I talked about SEO and user experience and stuff like that. So kind of going to go into that a little bit more just to explain this, because I feel like I'm about to give everyone control over their header. And I want them to go into that informed, because you're going to see that unlike all classic themes, today I'm going to show you that you could edit your header and footer site-wide. You could edit your header and footer on specific templates, which is really more of a later discussion, but it's still like, because we have another day for templates, Hannah, don't be smiling at me like that. It's still just like super cool. A lot of other themes, not an option. Full site editing allows you to do that. So you're going to be able to do it. And I want to tell you about how I think you should do it.
Lauren's going to tell you the right and wrong way to do it, because in the past with a classic theme, our clients would be like, hey, can you make this change? And I would be like, oh, Lauren's going to have to do that. And now I'm like, sure, I can go wreck everything on your site. I know nothing, but I can do exactly what you're asking. And then Lauren will nicely come back in with expertise and be like, in SEO.
Yeah. Even when you wreck
tell you
it,
to cease and desist.
I feel like something cool about block themes and full site editing in general is that all of these like areas have revision history like you would a post. So even if you were to go in and wreck something, you can just revert it to an older instance and then go in and play with it again. So it's so forgiving. Okay, so we're going to talk headers SEO, we're going to talk heat maps and user experience. And then I will set up a header footer and change out some of the content in it. But like some of the stuff that I feel is interesting to go over in there is like how you work with the blocks that manage your logo, navigation, and buttons, and like kind of the difference between navigation and buttons as well, why we would use those. So that'll be the stuff that like is hands-on things that also like good to know. I didn't set up a new site that you can clone. It's just this original one still. I think if you were to click the link from yesterday to clone this site, it would clone it with the new block. So if you wanted to play in here, you can, but I don't think it's super necessary today. I feel like you could just kind of listen and we can talk, and that today will be extra casual because it's
Friday.
It's an important day because it's the foundation of your site, but I don't have to do as much, so I can be a little bit slower. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and go from there. Okay.
Can I put you on the spot? Can I make some requests?
Yeah.
It is what I'm good at. I want to see a good header and a bad header. She loves explanations like this. Okay, I want to see a header that is, while pretty, not great based on heat maps and user experience. And then I want to see what we would typically build in a block theme instead. Can you show those two?
I mean, I don't really want to build both of them, but I could show you
Oh.
on other sites.
Bad.
So
Show
we'll
me
look at
that.
it from that perspective. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't want to watch you build it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm going to start with heat maps.
Cool.
And kind of looking at those. I feel like that's really relevant to this question. There are other sites that do heat maps, but I use this one called Plurdy. I use it because I got it on AppSumo and I paid a lifetime deal for it. So it probably doesn't have a bunch of fun, fancy features that other ones have, but it works for me. I can't remember. Hotjar, I think, is a common one that's used. Hotjar, and maybe Microsoft Clarity. I think they do heat maps as well. And I think both of those are more commonly used. This is just the one I use because it is cost effective. I like lifetime deals. Yeah. And sometimes I like things that I'm like, I wouldn't use that. How do I even close out of this? Okay. Right? Okay, so I already had this set up on Erin's Kitchen and I've gone through this with her. So she knows these results. We've used it when we've been working on her site. I think it would be relevant to show kind of just what I'm looking at when I see it. So this is already set up. There's already like tracking that's been done on some of these top posts of hers. And then when I click on go to reports, it opens her website with this overlay and then all of these like little buttons, these little red circles. And so this is essentially what I'm using when I'm looking at, and I used to actually do a lot of math on this, but now I just do it based on vibes, right? I'm a little bit more forgiving on it. But I go through here and I look at, are people actually clicking on stuff? And I'm looking at like the homepage and everyone's of course clicking to go down to the recipe. We have a good number of people that are clicking to like do the video and print. I know I'm not looking just at the header now, but like not that many people that are clicking the share button. So a decent amount of people who are clicking in here. This is not interactive. The servings are, but like total time is not. This icon is not. The serves text is not. So we have people like actually clicking on that, not interactive. That might be confusing to them. Some people are using breadcrumbs. Those are mostly there for SEO, so it doesn't really matter to us if they use it or not. We do see, and I'm looking specifically at desktop, we do see that a good number of people are clicking into, like going into this drop-down menu, but then they're just actually mostly just going to this all recipes. And then for some reason, a lot of people are clicking on protein versus like diving deeper into it. So you can see we have a few going into, sorry, the little circles take a minute to appear, but like 221, 27112. Like if people are coming in here, they're either clicking on recipes or going to all recipes here, most commonly. Very few people going to videos, conversions, about. Even when I'm looking underneath into the drop down, looks like basic volume conversions, most common. More likely people are just clicking in search. And then these kind of change if we look at the homepage too. So we'll see if we can do that in a moment. Good number of people clicking on the logo. So basically this tells me, like, at least on desktop, that people are sort of going into the drop down, but the most common thing they seem to be looking for is the recipe index. And I could just put that at the top level. And then everything else, like, they're not really looking for this extra information that would be, this might be SEO type information, but they are sometimes going into recipes and looking for specific categories. So they're looking to see things by protein. By clicking on the actual word protein, I would expect that they're looking for like a landing page that shows them information about the different protein options and like top results for each. I don't want to go through the actual post, but I will skip down to the bottom. And then you can see there's like no clicks down here. I strongly believe that the footer doesn't matter and that we can use it essentially, one, to try and re-engage clients if they get down that far by giving them something hyper relevant, or two, just using it purely for like SEO and brands. So that's why I usually put a lot of links down in the footer. And otherwise I would do, like, I've got this here. Let me move that. I would do these kind of like legal links that I need, and probably the contact, because people tend to know you can find contact in the footer.
I love how you've started making footers that are like, you're gonna hate my phrasing for this, but purely
Yeah.
clickbait, like every single category and just listing them all at the
Yeah.
very bottom. That way, like once someone has scrolled that far, they can choose something else to dive into and they're not just stuck on some kind of branding or legalese. Like they actually
Yeah.
have somewhere else to go once they hit the bottom.
And that's partially for like SEO, because if you have all of those links in your header, like on your page, and then we redesign your site and we remove all of those links, that can be a little confusing for Google. So like keeping them but putting them down in the footer is a good option for SEO. So we can simplify your header but still keep the SEO benefits. But I specifically, like, I don't do a drop down menu or something in your footer. I want all of those links to be there, to be visual. Nobody has to click anything extra to find it. Like, it's in their face if they get that far down.
I love that.
Yeah. Let's look at her homepage real quick. Oh, sorry. Actually, let me do something else. That's all been desktop. So you're going to see it changes on mobile. So I'm switching it to mobile. It's going to get confused for a second. I'm going to fix that as well. Let's see if it's going to load this information or not. Okay. So it's mobile. It's loading everything. We're going to give it a second. And we're also looking at mobile, so everything should be synced up in terms of like clicks. Please load, my friend. Choose report. Beautiful. Okay, so this is interesting. You can see there's a lot more people that are actually going into her mobile menu. So this is actually really interesting because I don't see this number on a lot of client sites. So I do like seeing that there are so many people that are going into her mobile menu. When you look in here, a lot of people just trying to go to the recipe index. People are clicking into subcategories a little. I mean, I feel like 5, 4, 3. I mean, like mostly this. People seem to be going to recipes. There's an interesting like difference between the number of opens on that menu and like how many people actually click in it. I feel like people are probably closing this menu because we don't see an equal number of clicks within all of these. And then we love to hide stuff in the mobile menu. It's like we're hiding some social in here and some extra things, but people aren't normally going to that mobile menu. So I don't love mobile menus at all anymore. I want it like there. People not gonna look for it, and especially if I do have a mobile menu, like having things in drop downs and having social hidden in there, like I wouldn't normally do that anymore. You can see, so compared to the 500 people that opened this menu, we had 20,000 that clicked to view this recipe, that used this jump button. So, like, in context, this 500 not feeling as big anymore as the 20,000 people, at least, that viewed this recipe and clicked down to go to the recipe. Um, Again, a lot of people clicking on this total time. It doesn't do anything. The total time is not clickable. We should definitely change how that looks so that it either doesn't look like a button or maybe like, I'm not sure why they're clicking on it. That's so weird to me.
I
Yeah.
would totally click and be like, "Dude, how can we shave this time down? Like, can you remove some steps?" I know this recipe says it's like 4 hours, but, like, how do we make it not?
I just don't know what we're clicking on this time for. You can't just change the recipe, Hannah. Okay, well, clearly that's kind of a UI thing, like, we would do this a little bit differently. Um, I really can't see the number on this search icon, which is so sad. Because I feel like this search number here, let's see if we can hack this at all.
I'm, like,
No,
seeing if getting closer to the screen will somehow make it pop up for me.
no,
It's just not
cannot
there.
cannot make this happen. Okay. So we're missing the search. We can't see how much. Oh wait, 15. Only 15 people have clicked on that search button for some reason. That's also super interesting to me. I feel like that's not usually what I see on these sites. I see a lot more clicks on search. We get down into the footer. Nobody's there. People that are clicking on social are clicking on Pinterest, which I think is the same thing they clicked on desktop. But I'm going to move on. Instead, we're going to look at the homepage real quick, see if there's anything interesting here. Probably not much that I really want to go over because I liked looking at the heading. This header is sticky, so we still can't see the number of people clicking here. More people are clicking on the logo, which takes them back to this exact same page, than are actually clicking into the menu. People who are clicking into the menu are just looking for recipes. Some clicks in here, a lot of subscriptions. So, like, I mean, not a lot maybe comparatively, but we're looking at like 50 here. Good amount of people clicking on these two categories, but not the recipe index for some reason. Maybe that's the photo. Browse all latest. Yes, a little bit for her bio. We would want to keep the bio anyway, whether or not people are clicking to learn more about her. It's still going to be good for authority building. And even for these, like some of these categories, we might want to have on there whether or not they perform really well, because we want to tell Google like we have updated content or seasonal content or these type of things perform well. Okay, our cute little play button confused at least 2 people where they thought they could click the play button in order to make the YouTube embed play. We should keep that in mind and not do that again. Not a ton of people clicked into these categories, interestingly.
And
I
quick and
do like
easy. Poor guy.
Yeah. I do like listing out categories too, because I feel like that's an alternative to having all of these things in your menu, is to like link to relevant categories when they're scrolling. So I do normally like to do that. And then a couple people clicking in the footer, but not many. A surprising number going back to top here. I mean, 4. The context of like how many people are visiting this page versus we're actually seeing here, very important. Okay, and we're gonna look once more, and then I promise I'll move on. Okay, desktop, ton of people clicking in here compared to other locations. I don't know if we saw a similar number inside the post, but definitely on the homepage, having search seems to be doing well. We have a lot more people clicking on the recipe index on desktop than on mobile. So I feel like that's a design thing where we would just like make this section taller on mobile or change out the image or something. Decent amount of subscribe and then a little bit of engagement as we go through the page. I don't feel like I noticed anything that is super more or less. Mostly Pinterest. Some people are actually clicking on social down here, which is nice. Okay. Mostly Pinterest. Some social, not Twitter. All right. So that's really like, I see different stuff on different sites. I think Aaron's is interesting because as I went through, I mean, we looked at this one post and then we looked at the homepage, but I've done audits on other sites where it's been very different, where they did not go into drop downs at all, or the mobile menu was clicked on like very, very little. And it was all about the search on mobile. Whereas Aaron's actually showed a decent amount of people were clicking on the menu and they had fewer in search. And one thing that like could even impact that is which side things are on. So if you wanted people to do more of something, we could test this stuff out. But if you can do any sort of like heat map on your own site, I definitely recommend it because you'll kind of learn what people are looking for. And it's sometimes easier than using analytics. I just wouldn't run it for more than a couple months probably. Okay, so that's Aaron's site. That is heat maps. The two that I mentioned that I know about other than this are Hotjar and then Microsoft Clarity. I believe both of those do heat maps. I don't know what their pricing is, but probably reasonable to do for like a month or two. Okay, so we did heat maps, a little bit about user experience. That does bring me to, I want to pull up like some different, Hannah wanted to know like what is good and bad about menus, about headers. And I was going to pull up one more. Pick a site, any site, Hannah.
Handle the heat. Like, stop being obsessed with her. I just love that site. Okay, so what's hard to maintain?
What's hard to maintain? Fancy drop downs. We did like, this is not that fancy, but it is fancier than what comes out of the box with WordPress. So we had to write custom CSS for this drop down. And it just means there's a little bit more maintenance on it. And then we're also going to look at changing a little bit of functionality for these menus. And because they're working with JavaScript, that's going to be harder to maintain. I would say like usually in the header, you're going to see a logo, a menu, and a search. I would keep a minimum of that. But you can see here, that's really all that is in this header. And with block themes, I actually feel like that's really, really nice. Like you're giving users a really simple header that helps them navigate without overloading them by trying to put everything in the first like 300 pixels of the page, because you have block themes and you can build out really nice layouts. You can call attention to the same type of information that would previously have gone in your header. So instead of having like here, Brittany does have social, but instead of having social in the header here, like we could have a block, and I don't think we have one on Tessa's homepage right now.
Well, she's got sticky social though, right?
She does have the sticky social, but we have other sites that have like a whole block dedicated to social.
Oh yeah.
And so then instead of doing it in their header, they have it in a block. And it can be bigger or have extra text or something like that. It won't be site wide, but it'll be when they're looking for it, when they're like browsing your site. So I personally really like Handle the Heat having this really like simple header. They do have drop downs, which I would love for them to just do like the scroll menu. But they have done heat maps and determined that their drop downs are good for them. Brittany's is interesting. Hers, we have like a little bit of this stuff that like if we ran, and this is me totally guessing, if we ran tests, I don't know that these would actually show that users are clicking on them, but I think they're
I
cute for
love them.
branding.
Yep.
And yeah, they're so cute. And I also think that they were here before. And so when we switched to this theme, we didn't want to remove them from the header. We could have put them in the footer potentially, but like essentially just like not removing those links site wide from everywhere. So kind of maintaining this. I definitely think these are cute for branding as well. And then we just have a little bit of emphasis on the search one. So for Brittany's, I feel like we've got a little bit more of like branding going on up here than like necessarily user experience. And then what's interesting about her navigation here, she's got like, you know, so much content on her site that is super cool, and like having to keep all this organized, crazy. Like props, Brittany. But what's interesting to me is that we have these drop downs on desktop. And then if you look at it on mobile, we changed to a mobile menu. Oh, I can't stand when you click on the wrong thing. She's got this mobile menu here. I still clicked on the wrong thing. Because I was trying to avoid this getting messed up, I clicked too low. But we changed the after menu to be this like scroll. So these are just top level links to help people get to like the most popular content. And then please let this click. Okay, then here's this mobile navigation. This is not cute, but very effective. And it keeps all the links visible on mobile as well. So I kind of like, we had to do something a little more complicated, but we achieved that by just changing out what is visible on desktop and mobile. We haven't redone Erin's yet. We're going to keep it pretty simple, similar to what she currently has. So if you look at hers, we changed her specialties. That used to go into her mobile menu, and now we have that underneath. So I'm really loving this. I want all headers to have this because I feel like it's like people are actually looking to just click something. But for SEO, we can keep mobile menus if needed. I think Peanut Butter and Fitness just does that mobile. So hers is that kind of simple one that I really like, but I prefer her menu to be down there. And then Mad About Food is super similar. Brittany and her have a similar kind of setup here where there's both a mobile menu that opens and has all the like advanced drop downs. And then there's this one underneath. Okay, so that being said, the menu that I'm going to do, we can change it if we get a lot of feedback. I need to figure out how to clear the cache on this site. We're going to steal Kylie's header because it's my favorite. And it's the best in my opinion.
Why?
Because it doesn't use any drop downs. And because we're going to also steal her footer, and we're going to put links in the footer. So anything that would have gone into a drop down is just going to go into the footer. And instead, top level links, search.
I love and approve all of that. However, someone gave me rules of branding before, and I just want to discuss whether or not Kylie's is cute because she has these adorable buttons with borders.
Oh, well, we're going to make ours cute too.
Okay. If you are confident, I have no eye for design and style, so I need you to show me how you can make this cute with our new rules, because one of the things I love about Kylie is that her borders like change colors and that she kind of like plays with all of the color on her site. That makes me happy.
Okay, and her header, like when you look on mobile, there's no menu to open. I love that. And then what I'm going to show you is that we don't use a navigation block anywhere in the header or the footer. Like we use buttons everywhere. So one, it's way easier to style buttons because you don't have to worry about like hover effects and collapsing on mobile or anything like that. So it's a lot easier to style them the way you want, essentially due to the limited functionality. And two, that you don't have to use any JavaScript. And I think I mentioned this like yesterday or the day before, but like this is just CSS and it just scrolls back and forth. So there's no concern that like if I'm using an optimization plugin and I'm deferring JavaScript that my mobile menu is not going to start working or stop working, whatever. So drop downs aren't important for SEO. The physical drop down itself, no. But having the link is something that SEOs generally want you to do, is have like links that go to your most popular categories. Honestly, I have two opinions on that. One is that we're going to put all that content in the footer. And so you can see like all of these links are visible. You don't have to open a menu in the footer either. So we're going to put all the links that we would have put in a dropdown into the footer because they're just there for SEO. They're not there for users. And we've already determined that users aren't really clicking anything in the footer. So I might as well just fill it with
Add them
SEO
in a more
things.
accessible way.
And then two, like, in my opinion, the reason we had to use dropdowns for SEO is because there was no better way to display all like to link to categories and things like that and to show what kind of expertise we had. But now you can create entire blocks that like I could have a block dedicated to collections, or I could have a block dedicated to like that has a menu in it. I'm not completely opposed to menus. And I think we saw it was on Mad About Food. She has a menu here as well. And so like this doesn't have to be in her header where it's on every single page. Again, you do want the links to be site-wide, so I would put something in the footer. But when it comes to actually like having these drop-down menus, she can just have this on like basically her homepage and her recipe index rather than having this everywhere. And it has like, it does the mobile menu. So you can still have all of this stuff where it doesn't take up a ton of space on mobile without like having to put it in your header. But even that menu, I probably would do, it'd be interesting to see on Madeline's site if this gets a lot of clicks, but I probably would do more sections that have like specific posts and then links to a top category. Or like this where she has categories that are popular.
Yeah, to me, that's the benefit of a block theme is that you can pull awesome blocks like this, and it's not that they're stuck on your homepage. You can put them on all of your posts. You can use automatic block inserter and stick them on every single post if you want until you're ready to dynamically insert using categories. Whew. You're so ready for that last day with me, aren't you?
Yeah, and you're going to make everything hard.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. But I feel like in the past with blogs, it was just here's your most recent post on your homepage. Here's a little bit of some about you. And therefore, you need a million drop downs in this really extensive menu. Whereas now you have so many more visually appealing ways to add pizzazz and authority.
Yeah.
Let's go build it.
Let's go build it. Okay, if you insist. I'm going to be so good at building this because we're going to steal Kylie's and then we're going to make it our own.
Cool.
I thought about prepping it beforehand, but I feel like there's some things I want to do on video. So first of all, I want to show you that this page is like, it doesn't have a header and footer so that it didn't distract us. But we're going to put the header and footer back on it. And that's super easy because when I edit this page, it defaults to the page options. That's here in the sidebar. Page options, and then there's template, and I have it set to a blank page right now. But once I click on that, sometimes it takes a minute for swap template to come up, and then I can pick the layout I want for it. So I'm actually just going to revert it back to the default, but that's going to add in a default like header and footer. So if I go to template, use default template. Ooh, I lied. I'm not going to do that. The default template includes a title, and so it would just have the word home at the top, and I don't want the word home at the top of this page. It's going to make me sad. So I'm going to use the landing template. It just says no page title. All it does is remove the page title. Okay. So now I've got this header, not cute, and this footer, not cute. We're going to set them up.
So many opinions.
Well, it's just like out of the box.
And with the child theme, once you've completed this part of the process, this will be what you get out of the box, and you can just swap out your logo, swap out the menu,
Yes.
roll
Yeah.
with it. Cool.
Yeah. So this is out of the box, like creator, like basic, no
What I
opinions.
always make so ugly, and then you have to come in and fix.
Yeah, exactly. The one Hannah makes ugly. Okay, so I logged into the staging site for Kylie Cooks. I'm gonna come up here, edit site. And then she's gonna have like purple sections. If you see I hover over this, these are purple sections. Those are like template parts that are getting repeated everywhere. And so that's what I want to like copy that content and then put it into our own purple parts.
So the footer starts at stuck in a dinner dilemma?
We have footer before, which it goes all the way down to the bottom of this gray section. And then we have like the footer, which is here. And the reason we separate that is there are templates so you can decide that you want to remove all of the first footer content. That way, like, so legal pages are a really good example, like legal and accessibility pages and stuff where you're removing distractions, where I still want this footer and I want my primary, like this header, but I might remove these extra links here and then all of this extra content here. So yeah, for her, this stuck in a dinner dilemma is repeated on every page. I figured if we had extra time, we might do something like, we wouldn't do this block, but we might pick some blocks that would be fun to put in the footer. Okay, so starting us off, I'm just selecting those, copying them, and then I'm gonna edit our site and I'm gonna paste them in. So I'm deleting that. Hold. I'm gonna press enter, paste, and then delete that first one.
That's
Okay,
nowhere
so
near as pretty. That is not the same. What
it
did
is
you
not
say?
the same. Exactly. It's not the same.
Crap.
We are going to change it.
I
Same
was
here.
expecting more from this.
No, it's not just gonna pop in there beautiful. We have to make it beautiful.
Useless. Oh, that one did. No, it's because you plot back to the other site.
Yeah.
Sad.
We'll do all of this, but we're gonna have to change it too. And then this one. So this is just our little cheat to start a little faster. Not cute. That's okay. We'll get there. Okay, so this is actually a really helpful piece right here is this logo. Whenever you start your site and you have a prettier header than this, it's still going to have an empty logo more than likely, because if you haven't been using a block theme previously, it's going to be cranky about your logo. So here is where you're definitely going to have to come in and set your logo. I recommend normally using an SVG. If you have one for your logo, I would use that. If you don't have one, whatever you currently use, JPEG, PNG, that sort of thing, that would be fine. So we're now Women's Day. I actually want to be someone else because
You were so anti-feminine themes, and now we're Women's Day.
exactly. Can we be cosmopolitan? Like, at least they've got a sans serif font.
Okay, sure.
I know it's a little feminine, so it's fine. So that's really important. And then before I build this out, I want to show you the difference between working with buttons and working with a navigation block. So right here, all I have is buttons. That's what these all are. I like buttons because they're easier to style and because they don't have drop downs and they don't require any JavaScript. But if you wanted to have a navigation instead of buttons, like there's a navigation block, and then this allows you to actually nest things. And then I can like have nested nesting. And so you can have those drop downs. That's all done with the navigation block. It gets a lot harder to customize. So you have the extra functionality of having all of these links with drop downs, but in terms of like changing colors and things, like I can change let's say I change the text color, but that's for drop downs. So now on mobile and desktop, my mobile menu and my drop downs will look like this.
But JavaScript's bad and no drop downs. Why are you teaching us how to do these things that you don't want us to do?
I don't know.
Although I do appreciate understanding now why I need to remove my navigation and swap it out with buttons on my little sites.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I think you should just put your links at the bottom.
Okay. I don't even have drop downs. I'm not that complex. I'm just using navigation. It's ugly.
Okay. So we're going to make this look prettier. But what I've done here, just to kind of demonstrate what's happening, and we're going to keep this top structure the same, essentially, is we've got the logo. Let me see if I can make it look. So this is what it would look like on desktop. You've got the logo, and then you see a search button here, but this is actually only going to be visible on mobile. We're not displaying this search button on desktop. And we do that. There's a plugin for this that's not installed right now, but essentially it adds, this one doesn't have the classes on it. Is it on the parent? We have classes here that say hide on tablet and hide on desktop because I only want it to show up on mobile devices. And the reason for that is because on mobile, I wanted the search button to be side by side with the logo, and then I wanted these buttons to be underneath. So this search button only shows up on mobile, and then this search button goes the opposite way. It's hidden on mobile. It only shows up on tablet and desktop. So we're doing a little bit of bamboozlery, which is why I feel like the header tends to be a little more complicated. And like once it's set up, we probably want to leave it or like
Don't touch it.
yeah. I don't know, like ask for help with it. Because this one's pretty intentionally set up for mobile and desktop. If you had to compromise and make your own, I would just make one that's only for mobile, like optimize mobile, and then just have a less pretty header on desktop, like if that's what you needed to do. In which case, I would probably just put the search bar over by the logo and then have the menu over on the right.
Because really, who's using all of this? If you have a pretty block theme, they're not getting stuck up top. They're moving around. They're doing other things. They're looking at all of your pretty blocks. They're not slammed here. So it's just not as important.
Like, yeah, if I had to do a really simple header, I would just delete all those buttons. I'd put all my buttons underneath, and then I would center.
But you hate centering.
I would center like the logo and probably keep the search button up there.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Cool.
If I needed to like do my own. Yeah, we're going to keep this design.
Your bamboozlery.
Yeah, we're going to keep the bamboozlery. Cool. To explain the search buttons, I'll probably change this out to be actual search bars with a little bit of customization. I was doing them where they have the search toggle class, and that will work, I believe, for both Mediavine and Slickstream. Search toggle, yeah. So I think that works for both of them if you're using either of those for your search functionality. But I spoke with, I think, Slickstream recently, and they really wanted me to use the search block. So I won't do that here because it's ultimately going to look about the same, but it just takes a lot more effort on my end. So the search block will be set up. And then what that means is that instead of this being a button, if for some reason you went away from Slickstream or Mediavine search and you went back to native WordPress search, it'll expand to show your search bar. So it would look like, okay, it would look like that. And then when they click on it, it would expand. I would just make it look nicer. That's what I'll do later. All right, let me see where we're at. This one is right aligned. And then this is our default for buttons now, but I don't want that. But you know what we did? We set this as the default, and I'm not sure I can undo it. Do you remember when we talked about this? I think it was day one. We talked about don't set typography on your buttons because you won't be able to undo it later.
Oh, this was a request of mine, wasn't it? Ooh. Maybe not. It's all fine.
Yeah, I cannot change the font to sans serif. I could change the size. Can't make it non-italic. Could give it letter spacing. Ooh, we really messed up here. I might have to do this off screen because I might have to redo how our buttons work. Did I say I was going to do that on day one? I completely forgot.
I don't know.
Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to go look at what this looks like right now. Obviously, we're going to change these buttons. These look exactly like Kylie's site, and we want them to look like ours. We can't change what these look like because they're all buttons. We have so little control right now.
Is this all because I had an opinion?
Yeah, make the buttons pretty, Lauren. And then I just freaking went and did it.
You did.
It's fine. I'm gonna have to
You're supposed to
redo
just
that
tell me
later.
no.
Can't possibly tell you no.
You can. It's a complete sentence. I feel like this already looks like its own thing.
Yeah, I
home
mean,
is really tiny, though. Why is home so small? Does he even need to be there, though? Like, that's the most useless. Just delete him. Thank
But
you.
then we run out of stuff to put up top. So if I delete
This is a
him,
dummy site.
yeah.
That's
One thing I do want to share. This header, you really want it to work at 1024. You don't probably really want to. I want you to want it to work at 1024. That's the last time before it starts like collapsing. So 1024, if you add like too many links in here, they're going to start going on 2 lines and it won't be cute. So let me show you that. So it just drops earlier actually on this particular site, which isn't so bad. I feel like that's a little bit safer, but like there will be instances where, let me see if I can make it happen. If you just look at your site on desktop, you're like, this looks so cute. And then when you switch to right before it starts changing, like this would still be most desktop sites or large tablet devices, and it's going to collapse here. I actually don't think that looks bad in this theme, which is probably a pro for keeping this particular layout. But there are other instances where you probably don't want that to happen. Okay, do we want to just leave it like this for the moment until I can do some other things?
Yes.
I feel like the only other thing I would want to do is probably make this button a little bit different. So that it's a little bit, I mean, obviously the typography would probably change. I would have changed these buttons and this one. These I might have left the way they look now. But these would probably all have different typography to emphasize it. I was demonstrating here that this is going to scroll on mobile. If you add enough links, it'll scroll on desktop too.
Cool.
So totally up to you on whether you want that or not. But it'll work. Is it super boring to say that I like this heading and to move on?
No.
Do you hate this header? I love this header. I'm sorry.
I like it a lot. The fact that you want to change the typography up top makes me think, oh man, maybe I'm not prepared to attempt to work on another child theme in the future. Maybe I just don't have an eye for design.
I mean,
I'll
I don't
make
think
one
it
of these
looks
myself.
bad. The search button I would 1000% change no matter what. I don't like the search button.
Okay.
This I feel like it's okay, but like I want it to look different.
Aren't there some easy settings to change that search to be like just a magnifying glass or
Yes,
like
I
right-click and adjust
specifically
that
have
really
the word
easily?
search added.
Yeah.
So I like it could just be that, but I specifically have the word search added right now. I probably would not keep it. I'm thinking,
Can you say anything else silly? What's a fun
Yeah.
way to entice people to search? Get party ideas. Find recipes. Wait, Cosmopolitan. Read raunchy articles.
Find recipes. There you go.
Okay. That's
I'm
fun.
going to change this out though, so it's going to look
What's
different.
the fast way to change it to be just the magnifying glass? Is there like a right-click setting that you can
So
show?
the reason it's not doing that right now is because this is a button and the button has to have text. But
Yeah.
remember, I'm actually going to change it to that search.
Cool.
So it's going to look like that. So basically you can have it say search or the icon. I can get it to do both if we wanted,
Okay.
but it
Cool.
would be more like this now. So like if I get rid of that and then change this. How do I get these to be closer together? I think this is justified. That's why. Hold, almost there.
Clicking so fast.
This is the boring stuff. You don't want to watch this. Okay.
Good.
But I still don't like it. I'd still change it. But I won't hear. We'll go on.
Cool.
Wait, can I just add a tiny bit of space? I feel like this one just needs like a little more white space.
Pixel perfect Lauren, here to stay.
Look how nice that looks.
So nice.
Let's look at it on mobile. Let's make sure it looks okay. Oh, it's mad at my search things. I forgot. I forgot about you guys.
Your
Can I fix
bamboo's
that?
free.
Wow, she really pouted about that too.
Mainly that you're doing things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
We're
It's
there.
a Friday.
Yeah. Better.
Yeah, okay. We'll work on it. I feel like I might. No, it's fine. We're going to work on it. Okay,
You
let's look
wanna
at the footer. So,
Wait, go back to mobile. I'm so sorry. I need to see it again on mobile.
the header.
Yep. Okay. I didn't see the buttons before because I was so worried about the layout of what I was pretty sure you wanted to move. Yep, I'm good. Proceed.
Okay. Okay, we're going back to the footer. We're going to remove this title and make it look like ours. We can't change these buttons here until we change other things, but I actually think that it looks okay, so I don't mind that. We're going to leave all of Kylie's initial content in here because I think that's easiest. And
You don't
play
want to use
around from there.
Cupcake Ipsum today? It's still a lot of
I
copy
do.
and
I
pasting
wanted to go
right
back
now.
actually and change that.
Okay.
I wanted to go back and change all of the current stuff to that. But
Okay.
I got distracted with, like delivering client work.
Yeah.
So did not have time for that. I can't decide if we're going to add some lines in here, but we're getting there. That's why when I copy pasted this, I did it wrong. I don't want any of these other things right now, so we're going to delete them and work
I
with
like to get
this.
stuck in a dinner dilemma. I know you're going to rework something, but
Yeah, we're going to do stuff that isn't just like stealing Kylie's site.
that's fair.
Thanks. Do I want social down here? I think I do. We better leave social. So we've got social icons. Just going to change them. We're going to get rid of Twitter and replace it with YouTube because we're focusing on videos. We're going to move Pinterest to the front because Erin's audience liked Pinterest, and we're going to assume that everyone likes Pinterest the most. Okay, and then we're going to do site title. We're going to fix that. It won't link anywhere.
That's cute.
Well, I'm gonna fix it. Hold on, let me save this and then where do I want to go? We need to change the title of this site. Hooray. Save changes. Edit site. Back to the footer. Now you're going to see that instead of having the URL, it now says FeatureFest. Okay, so this is just going to pull in whatever your site name is. You can change it to a paragraph and like write something custom if you want, but that way you don't have to change anything. Since our buttons have to look like this because of our life choices, we are going to make all of the text look like that.
Cool.
Let's see, what do I want to do? Start here. That's already small. Okay, and then copy those styles and apply them here. And then let's do, I was gonna write FeatureFest because that's the name of this on creator theme for our credits. I definitely want there to be what am I doing? Okay, so I want there to be a contact link, like if there's multiple links here, but because we have these little dots there, I can't place those dots between. So I think what I might do is move this copyright. I want the copyright symbol. Why is it not used anywhere on this page that's all about copyright? Yeah, that hurt my soul a little bit. Oh, I can't put it right there because that would actually change my site title. Okay. We're going to leave it off then. And instead do copy styles, paste styles. This over here is now privacy policy and contact me. Ooh, and you can see how it's forcing it to collapse, to like go onto multiple lines in some cases. I don't like that. But our block spacing is already so small. Hold. Okay, it fits at 1024, so I'm happy with it. Is it bothering you that this is bold, or is that just me?
No. Did not bother me.
Why is it not a thinner italic? Okay, figure it out later. I want to change out what this looks like here. And do we like this footer? Like these colors? Should I do like the dark color? Oh no. Oh, that was not pretty. This dark pink color and then light pink color above it. Should we make it too pink? You're the one that likes the pink, so I'm looking over to you.
Everyone is gonna have different opinions on colors. We don't have Laura here to tell me to go green, so.
Fine. Well, I like this then, so we're doing it like
Okay.
this.
Thanks.
Okay. The only thing is, I really like having 6 down at the bottom. I love that Kylie and I got to 6 as the number there because I feel like it looks really good when it's side by side on mobile. I would maybe also do 4, but I think most people have enough categories that 6 would make sense. It doesn't really matter like how long they
Laura.
are. Like you could have 10 in each section, but I would try and do somewhere from 4 to 6. Hannah, what are you laughing about?
I'm telling Laura hi. And I'm typing, and I'm so scared that I'm typing really loud on you again. Sorry, guys. Do you want me to go back and change the footer? Do we need greens? Jessica liked my pink.
I was gonna say no. Jessica likes the pink.
She says too pink.
Okay, we're doing it like this. I've talked about having categories. Do we want to do 4 or 6? Does anyone care?
6.
6. Okay.
Do 6. This is for bloggers. We have a ton of content. We got to share it all and get all of
These can have as many as you want. They don't have to be even, but my OCD says they are going to be even. We're gonna make them a little more opinionated, and I'm not sure if we're gonna like it. We're gonna try it and see what we think. They need something. I don't like it. What if we decrease the space?
See, these are things that I would never think of. And you're like, but maybe if I play with it, it'll be better. I'm like, no, just go back.
What I really want to do is like add borders and things that I think are not going to match.
No borders.
No borders.
No borders.
Center that one thing. Then she's going to want it all centered. I can already tell.
Why do I get giddy whenever you do some of the things that I know I love and drive you crazy?
Okay, what about this? This got kind of cute.
Yeah. I have to see it everywhere before I can form an opinion.
Hold. I'm going to center the things. Don't freak out on me yet.
I didn't tell you to.
Also, we're going to have to fix the heading levels on those in a second. I'd left align them, and I'd make it a darker pink.
Do that. Can you add like some fun little... You're already cringing inside. Little like, what about just fun bullet dots that are, you know, diamonds or squiggles because it's me, but just bullets would maybe be fun. No? Just no?
It's going to be hard, but let me do this, and then let me talk about headers, and then let's figure out how we're going to make it more fun.
Okay. I mean, I like it. Just that dark pink is, you know, not my vibe of pink. I'm more of a neon, hot pink.
I needed a pink that went with the blue.
Better. Yeah.
And also that was dark enough that I could have white on it. So we could change up the pink, but...
No, please do not change any more colors.
This is too much. What if we did black? Have we done black anywhere, though? I was thinking about making a lighter version of black.
A gray, if you will.
Yes. A lighter gray. It hurts me. Okay, I'm leaving this black for now. Um, okay, so first I want to talk about headers. You have to do all of your own headers. And look, there's no list view in here because these are inside of a thing. You have so much control over your site that you have to manage your own headers. So for accessibility, you want all of your headers to go from H1 directly down to H2, directly down to H3, like no skipping headers. You can skip upwards. So from H6, you can go back to an H2, but you don't want to go from an H2 to an H4. Right now, these are headers on the site. And so they're going directly to an H2 because we had a title above this and we deleted it that was an H2. So now they're going from H1 directly to H3, or they're going to accidentally be under an H2 that isn't relevant to them. I think I'm actually just going to change these to not be headers. I don't think that they are going to be something that's relevant enough for people to want to jump through all 6 of those headers. If anything, I would put a header back above them that was an H2, and then I would still change these away from headers. But to be on the safe side.
That is also thoroughly over my head, and yet something that I'm pretty sure I need to know.
Serif. Why is there so much space? Oh, because the padding got messed up when I changed it. Okay. So I have to, in order to copy paste the styles like correctly, I actually have to transform all of these to paragraphs first. And then we're going to do what we've done a bunch of times, which is copy the styles and then paste it. I really only need to copy this paragraph style and then paste it to this paragraph, but that requires a lot of clicking. So since these are all the exact same style of block, if I copy the block itself and then paste the styles to all of the other blocks, I can, instead of having to click back and forth a ton of times, I just did it all in one go pretty much. So it's going to look exactly the same. It just now is more semantically correct for accessibility and for screen readers. Okay, let's talk about, you want to put...
First, I just want to see it on mobile.
Okay. 425 is going to be closer to what people actually see. What do you think?
I actually think it's really cute. Why are
She
these
sounds
easy?
so surprised, guys.
I hate headers and footers. I think that they're the bane of my existence. I think that I tend to tank every little brand that I try to start with my ugly headers and footers, and then Lauren has to come in and fix it. So I just knew that this would be like some really fancy wizardry, and it's...
I think headers and footers are like the most important part of your site. They're like the foundation of everything. The SEOs are going to yell at you about them. Like you have to spend the time on them.
Yeah. Lauren looks into when they yell at her, and I read past the all caps and move on.
I still feel like yesterday, where I feel like it's just missing a little something, and I don't like this gray, where I feel like I'm probably going to go back and tweak something, and I just don't know what yet. I kind of feel like the whole site is missing a little something, and I can't decide if I want to round some more corners or add the drop shadow or start leaning into more lines. But
can you add like some icons or something? Because we said we would have hard corners and we're going to stay away from drop shadow and no borders.
I know, but I'm probably going to give the site just like something more. Icons, yes, you can always add icons, but I don't think that that would be the fix in this case. Did you want
emojis for each one?
What?
What about emojis for each one?
I love emojis.
Collection, heart, course, the little like hearty meal, lifestyle. Ooh, I don't know. Is that like a workout?
Okay, I can definitely throw icons there. You want me to start with that?
I need to hear from the people. Laura, Jessica, Christopher, someone.
Hannah needs someone to back her.
I need help. Are you gonna change that black to a gray? Is that for sure?
Yeah, you want me to do it right now?
Not really, because I hate playing with that color palette. Why does that suck the life out of me? For no reason at all.
Doesn't it feel like it just needs to be like that shade of gray? Like, doesn't it just feel better in your heart of hearts? I feel like I could even go just a little tan with it, but like, I can be
Mm,
happy with this.
okay.
Hey, let's practice. Jessica says she loves icons. Sorry, guys. I've really just I've been wanting to click that button, highlight someone's comment. As we had to switch to a different platform to just figure out how to
Mm.
stream. Okay, let's do icons then. We're gonna have to change how this works now. Wow, Hannah.
I know.
Way to go. That's okay. This will make it easier so that people can do fun stuff.
Cool.
First of all, you know I'm sticking with one of these default icons that I already have.
So cute.
Okay, so we're putting this in a row, and now I have to color that whole row and take the color off of the paragraph. That's really fine. I actually tend to do that in a lot of cases because if you do it on any sort of group, so a stack, a row, a group, and a grid, they're all like the same form of the same thing, and it lets you put information together, and it makes it a lot easier for you to manage stuff if you put your settings on that group where possible. So I do recommend using groups if you remember. We want the font.
Will you be renaming all of these?
No.
Okay.
Padding. I need to remove padding. White text and white. What if we did
Darker pink
icon? You want the dark blue on dark
pink? Oh, it's already dark pink.
It's
Light
already
pink.
dark pink. Light pink.
I don't know.
Oh, we forgot to give it a size again.
Oh. Not 25.
Not 25. Look, if you guys want to make it 25, that's fine. Just don't ever show it to me. I don't want to know that it's 25. I still want less spacing between. No, I don't. It's fine where it's at. The icon needs to be smaller. You're right.
Yeah, I totally thought that.
Just 4 pixels. Oh, it's
Every
off center
pixel
now.
counts.
It's off center.
Jeez.
Okay, so spoiler alert, 24 is like the default font size, I think. And so if you make it smaller than the font size, it doesn't align well. And in order to fix that, you have to change it gets complicated. So we're just not going to. We're just going to make it bigger again so it looks cute. Okay, you want me to do different icons for every single one?
I want to play with other options because I'm not sure that I love this.
Okay. Do you want to keep working on this or do you want to move on?
Can the list under, like the list of links under the title with the icon, can that have some bullet points? Can they be fun lists? Can you do that?
Great question. So I have them set up as buttons, literally just because buttons are way easier to use in the editor. If you look at them on the front end versus like in the editor, for usability, it does not matter which ones you use. So we're going to set it up where it's not using buttons because that will let us do bullet points. But just for clarity, like if you're not going to make something with bullet points or you need them to look differently or whatever, like buttons are just easier to use because as you see, like when I click on this text, it automatically brings up the link and it lets me like choose what I want to put in here. Now we're going to switch and we're going to do a paragraph. And I just put a separator in. Don't ask me why. Oh, because if I type in paragraph, it's giving me separator. Because it starts as a paragraph. Don't think too hard about it. Okay, basic. comfort foods, casseroles, one pot, dishes, sheet pan, dishes. These we're going to convert to our list. We're going to style our list so that the font looks like our buttons. Let's see. Light italic. Serif. Small. And our list needs padding. Let's put this in a group as well, so we don't have to do that again. What's the padding on this one? 2. Padding our list. I'm going to remove the padding from it. Nope, needs more than that. There. Better? Worse?
I liked it with more padding.
You liked it with
And
more.
I think I do like the list with like little pink markers more.
Okay, so we're going to give this more padding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to increase the space between the list items as well. Not that much here. Do you still like more padding? Do you want me to decrease the space between the list items again?
I don't know. I've now spent too much time on this. It's dead to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I do still feel like it has more pizzazz than the others. I'm not sure if I would want that. Like if I'm going for a minimalist approach, if we need to add pizzazz in another or different way. But if nothing else, it was worth the act of going through this together.
Looking at it. I just don't like that extra padding. I know. Okay. If anyone else has opinions and wants to play with it, can do. I feel like I'm ready to move on just because I could get really bogged down in the details and I don't know if that's worth watching at all. Like I could just keep playing with stuff and playing around with it, but it's probably not worth the time. What I would do from here, well, one, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, so I'm not going to actually like clone all of this and everything. But if we decided like, oh, we really like this first one, then from here, because I changed the structure, I'd either have to like match the structure and then copy paste the styles, or I would just duplicate this new group and then change out the content again, which is probably going to be easier in this particular case. I did want to show, so remember how I was saying, like if you click on a button, it just shows the link. Let's say that's the link I want. If you're using a list, because this is now like basically a paragraph, you're going to have to come choose the link icon and then paste it in. And that's really the only difference. Oh, now it looks like a link. I lied. I hate that.
Links are set. Oof. You can change it one by one though, right? Without it.
I can, on the list, I can have the text color change, but I can't change the fact that it has an underline.
Ooh. I hate it.
Yeah. I could add a class that does it, but I don't think it's worth it. It gets easier to break.
Nope.
Yeah, it gets really busy when we do that. Okay. I want to move on. Unless you want to play with the icons, I'd be willing to play with icons, but other than that, I just don't love it. I love the content idea of it. and I like it looks a little better than it did before, but like it's just not, I'm not vibing with it personally. So I feel like I'm gonna have to like go play with it and not do that live.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, we have other blocks that we actually like. Let's think about putting some other blocks in the footer. Because remember we talked about this is SEO content in the footer, but we can have more content down there. And these purple sections are going to appear site-wide. So they're going to appear anywhere that we tell the template to continue to display the footer. So I think that we could actually take some of the blocks that we've created, either the ones that we have up here and put them into the footer, or we can go create a new block. We've sort of kind of done that. I'm gonna redo it. Like for instance, we could do something like this Instagram. She's typing something.
My whole goal was to mute myself, and instead I removed myself. Love that for me.
Yeah. Hi, Julie.
Yep. Just wanted to say hi.
We were doing rounded corners only on images. So only the images were gonna have rounded corners. But agreed. Something else, like this does look nice when there's images, but if there's no image and it's just text, this is not my vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah, did you say you wanted to do these?
No. Let me look again.
I could see from your face. I was like, Hannah's done, guys. He says it's not even 4:20 there. It's 3:20 in the afternoon on a Friday. And Hannah's like, this live is dead to me.
I cannot think of any block that is worthwhile. Like as seen on, I do not want that in my footer. I'm wondering like, I don't want an about. I want to frustrate you.
Success.
With something dynamic, or I keep doing that. I keep saying it or thinking of it, and it's so frustrating even to myself. I know. I'm sorry. Like the social is already down there in the footer, right? Show me our existing footer. Show me what we've made.
We have social here.
Trying to figure out like what brings value in a block. What did Kylie have? I liked that. It was very stylized and different from any of the blocks that we've made thus far. Yeah, a newsletter sign up definitely seems like
sense, yeah.
the norm.
Oh, this is her live site. Hold. And we can't just go to the front page because for however long it's been empty.
Okay, first of all, I want our featured on aligned with our icons. I feel like that's something that's missing in our block that we made yesterday.
The ugly one with the
Yeah.
one that I told you I didn't like. You want me to go edit that some more?
No, I just want you to know that I want this little featured on bit to be in line with the icons instead of above whenever you go and play with it later. I'm giving you more homework. Okay. I don't want that in the footer though. I think let's look at a newsletter sign up. Can we quickly create one of those with one of the
Yeah, can we do
creator
one
custom
that's like
patterns?
side by side? I'm not gonna do it exactly like this, but I think she does a bio and a newsletter side by side. Yeah.
Cool.
Because I did that. Can we do this?
I'm all in on this one.
Okay. Cool.
That feels like it brings value because there's just so much going on. What's going to help?
Yeah, but I don't like this footer right now.
The colors.
I don't like the footer. Full width. Gonna go with another light colored background and see how we feel about it. What's happening here? This has margin top. Okay. You know I don't like that as the background. But I'm not sure I like anything as the background right now. I'm feeling a little bit
someone needs a designer to come
complaining.
deliver a brand guide because you are not okay.
Well, I pictured this looking like flat and modern in my head, and it's just missing something, and I am stuck on it. Like mentally, like gotta move past it. Okay, so we're gonna do two things. So I'm gonna do columns side by side, and then we're gonna build a newsletter one and a bio one. And am I gonna build these from scratch? That's kind of boring for you guys to have to watch me do. But I don't know that I have any that I like more. I think we're gonna build these from scratch. Yeah. The serif font. It could be the serif.
The one that I demanded all buttons be. I didn't even specifically ask. I asked for more and we got stuck there.
They're fine. Okay, left side, we're gonna do, it doesn't really matter. You can move them back and forth super easily. So I'm gonna start with the bio because that one's just a little bit easier for me to think of. And can I reuse one of the things from the homepage? Maybe I wanna like, I almost wanna use this as the bio.
Just make the image bigger.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like move it up top or something like that.
Yeah.
It's still in that column layout, so. Okay, that's the group that I have copied. I'm going to paste that in here.
Julie, I also love watching her do this from scratch.
I was certain I copied that group. Why? Group copied to clipboard. Better.
If you don't go snag Mama Cooking right now.
What's Mama cooking?
The image.
Oh, the bio image. Well, to be fair, this bio image is not a great bio image because you didn't center one person. It has two people. But I'm going to let you get away with it, even though you're heckling me hardcore right now.
Thanks, Boo. Appreciate it. You know I can't handle if you heckle back. Okay, all of your pulling off style is just gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna redo it because I want it to be. I want it to be higher. I want it to pull off to the top, not to the side.
Okay.
Did you like it better to the side? I feel like in this instance,
I think in columns and then thinking about how it's going to stack on mobile, it makes more sense, but my brain could just really spin out on that one, so let's not. Cool.
Okay. I have to remove some of the white space. I wonder if I should put the header to the right of the image.
Yes.
Julie gets to be our name here.
Not Cosmo. Ooh.
A little less space. A little less space. We don't need a list here, but we do need a button.
That sans serif, it's just really attacking you. You know what I want you to do with that button.
Center it. I absolutely refuse. Hard pass.
I'm sure once we have the other content in here, it will be fine.
Okay, this is my bio. We have to make a newsletter subscribe that looks good next to it.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna go home and do my homework tonight, by the way, guys. I'm gonna do the homework so that when we come back here and we do the homepage, the blocks we're not gonna have to build more blocks, and we're just gonna insert them and modify them as needed. And +1, thank you, Julie, for left aligning that button. And we're gonna have fix whatever I think is missing, I'm gonna have added it, okay? Tomorrow, we're going places.
It is Friday.
Oh, you
We
didn't know we're doing this tomorrow?
We have standards. No, I know that we're doing this tomorrow. I'm asking, why are you working all night? We have rules on a Friday.
Because I feel attacked by the tan going into this pink right now.
It's the colors still for you.
Yeah. And, like, by having made something here that, like, looks better but isn't what I want. It's all
Wasn't
of
there
that.
some like design program we had a ton of credits for? Do we need to reach out?
No, not
Okay.
at all. I
Is it a
just need to,
pickle?
like,
A frog?
feel
was
it,
something
okay?
weird. What was the name of that? Pickle?
Design pickle? We
Yeah.
didn't keep any credits for that, I don't
Okay.
think. Yeah, we're gonna just do that.
Mhm.
All right, and then for the subscribe, okay, I
You
have
have
an
one.
idea. We're gonna do something like this, but, you know, not this at all. It's gonna be more like this one, so we're just gonna copy this one again and then fix it.
Why don't you want to use any of the creator blocks? They're
Because
not
these ones
styled
already
yet.
have, like, additional styles and stuff added to them. So they're, like, closer out of the box.
Okay. Eight.
This one's gonna turn into light blue. So that this one can stay. Can't do it with that. That's fine. We need a form in there. I need more space between my columns. I want this to be the same height. I want my image to be taller. I'm not liking this either, but we'll at least get further on it. Make sure these will stack on mobile. Okay. Cheat a little bit. This is 100. We're going to use a class to force this one to have the same height. That's cheating a little bit, just so you guys know, but I've done it anyway. Almost there. Okay, so the last thing we would need to do for this is actually add in the subscription form. Also, I don't like these blocks side by side, but nobody remind me of that. Is to add in the subscription form, and now we're getting ahead to plugin stuff again. So we're not going to actually style this form, but we can look at what it would be like to put it in. So, oh, sorry. Thank you. Extension. It looks like I don't have a form plugin installed, so let me go install one. So there's a couple ways that you can do forms on your site. You could just paste in a ConvertKit form. The problem with the ConvertKit forms are the newer ones, or Kit, sorry, have this like, they're very difficult to style. So if you want your forms to look super integrated with your site, it becomes pretty difficult to do with pretty much any embed. The embeds do have benefits in terms of like tracking and some spam prevention stuff being built in and things like that. But in terms of actually like having forms look nice, I tend to use a form plugin. And I was using WP Forms for the longest time, but recently, I like literally one site ago, I switched back to using Gravity Forms. And that's because I have a license for it and because it's way easier, in my opinion, to make it look the way you want it to. So I'm going to install that so we can look at it. Assets, licensed plugins, Gravity Forms.
So organized.
I was organized, and some of that has carried over. Oh no, we don't have our license saved in here. We're actually going to have to go find it.
Uh-oh.
Wildly inconvenient. Activate this plugin. Oh, look, we're already logged in. Is this us? It is. Okay.
Yeah, that's you.
That was so convenient. Gravity Forms register. We're going to create a very basic form, subscribe. If you're using a form plugin or really any form on your site, they often have an ID, and now I'm getting really nerdy. You only want one ID per page. That's going to work best for like JavaScript again, also accessibility things. So ideally, if you're going to display multiple forms on a page, like let's say you have one in your sidebar and one in your footer, you create two different forms for that so that they have different IDs. Getting a little overly techie there, but like if I were working with someone on a custom site, we would make sure. I don't know why I did that. We would make sure that they had different forms if we knew they were going to display on the same page.
I'm looking at the back end of Kit and not understanding how I would link that to Gravity Forms. Is that just not a thing?
You wouldn't do it from the back end of Kit. You would do it from your form plugin.
Okay.
So let's open that in a new tab. I would come to the add-ons. And depending on what form plugin you're using, like there may be free versions, or because I have the paid version, I have access to all of these add-ons as well. But I believe that most, like Kit also releases versions for these plugins that are free on the WordPress repository.
Okay.
So if I activate this and I go to Kit, it should let me go to settings directly, and I'll put in my Kit information so I can connect it to a form.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to let me just like pick like a preset, like WP Forms, the one I'm not using, lets you just like make a subscription thing, but it's telling me I actually have to put information in here. Don't want that.
You don't want my middle name?
I do not want a middle name or a last name.
I really like my middle name.
I want these side by side. I don't want that label hidden. I'm personally okay with top labels because I know they're best for accessibility. It's that bottom label that I really don't want because I don't care if it's their first name or not. This email is definitely required. General required. So I'm going to update that. Form settings.
Does it have to say required?
I think it will say required.
Okay.
If you do this, so I think I've done custom before and I've just like removed this. If you do asterisk, it's even worse. I can show it to you if you want. We're not going to save that. Sorry for getting distracted. I didn't mean to do plugins today. So we'd have to put this in, the API information in for it to work, but essentially you're going to have a kit section here and it's going to let you.
Cool. Oh, where did Lauren go?
I started hearing myself come out of another computer. That was very confusing.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So back over here. Inside of here, form. I have to uninstall that plugin. That's like a browser extension for me. Okay, so it's super not cute here. Let me see if I can fix that. I think the reason is it doesn't have any settings right now. Like it should have display settings for me, and it does not.
Like you can toggle off form title though, right?
Yeah.
At least one less thing? No. Okay.
But it should have visual settings for me, and they're not there right now. So let's double check. Normally it's not there because this enable legacy is enabled. Ooh, that's not cute. What is happening?
She's swapping back to WP Forms.
Apparently. Oh yeah, there's a plugin update. Like I said, we've skipped around a little.
Your favorite type of client problem. Did you update the plugin recently? Does it need an update? Is
I don't want it to show up. Okay, that's a good step.
Why is name and email cattywampus though? Okay, it's not now, but on the front end.
Hold. Here's all my settings. So it looks weird in here because there's not like essentially the settings that the styles that they're using on the front end aren't applied here in the editor, and so we don't see everything that we really need to make this look pretty here. So we're gonna have to change some things and then double check what's happening here. As far as these being a little weird, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to wing it and see what happens.
And if that needs to be left for plugin day, that's fine. I mean, how can we make a subscribe out of the box for anyone that gets the child theme?
I probably would have to make, like, we could maybe include a block for gravity forms or something like that, and they would be able to copy paste styles or just like replace their settings.
Okay.
I'm not sure. The thing with like a lot of like these form plugins and a lot of old plugins like WP Forms and stuff, like which we'll talk about on the plugin day more, they were never meant to be used for block themes. So they're like having to try and add functionality.
Gotcha.
So like some of the things, like if I copy and paste styles, that might not even work because these are custom settings they're adding here. They're not using native settings because this isn't really a block. So plugins are hard. Yeah, plugins are, we definitely are limited on them a little bit. Text, I don't want a border, so we're going to make it white. Background can also be white. Text, I want text to be like pure black. I always do two versions. I do like, this is always like full 000, does not get more black than this. And then I'll use a darker gray if I need like accent colors. But for legibility, I always use actual like full on black. Doesn't matter what our description is. And then we're going to make our button the pink color since we have the blue button over here. Okay. Okay. I don't know what we did, but it looks nice now. I want this. I think I want the submit button in line, but there's not a ton of room with the current design.
Just less content.
Well,
No,
I was gonna try and put the submit button on the end here.
I don't think
It
it'll
wouldn't
fit. I
fit.
think you just need to minimize the amount of words above it to make it line up more with the image. No.
I think we're talking about different things. As she chuckles.
Of course, because we were always on a different page. Yeah, that didn't do as much as I hoped.
Try again. Here's what I want to do. Does it still have my styles? It does. Okay. And then I want to make this form underneath the columns, but still in the original group here. Bye, Jessica. Okay. And then I'm going to change these form styles. And then this one's going to be too tall, so I'm going to have to make this one taller. But don't worry about it. It's all going to be fine.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. First of all, to get the submit button to be in line. Thank you. I believe there's a setting.
Could we do a recommendation? Okay, just because this is all like over my head, so boring, I would never fight this battle, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way to, so I'm thinking like our ideal client is either a beginner blogger or just like what are a lot of bloggers using? Is there a way to recommend it and use an inline? Like, could we somehow make this block out of the box work pretty well with like the Claire inline form that comes easily with Kit? No.
No.
No. Okay.
Kit adds a whole bunch of styles to their form, and I think we can see it happen on this site.
Okay.
No, because that one looks okay. Erin and I did a lot of work to make this look decent. So this is technically a ConvertKit form, but it was difficult to get it to not have a huge gap in it. And I can't remember which clients do have a huge gap. Like if we looked closer at this, there's a gap above, and this like is forced space underneath, which is why it's not centered all right here, because of some styles they add that I completely do not understand at all. And I think Erin and I had to like use old Kit code in order to get this form to work.
Okay.
And we'd have to like maintain those styles. Like it doesn't use block stuff at all.
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much going to be the case for all embedded plugins. So that's one of many reasons why I recommend using form plugins. I mean, I have more reasons though. Like if you use...
It's not plugin day. It's header and footer day.
It's not plugin day. Stop talking, Lauren.
I just have questions.
Okay, well, anyway, we made this one look nicer and we took off the labels, even though they're better for accessibility. Why? I'm not entirely sure. It just looked nicer and I wanted that right now. We're going to make this blue one look nicer next to it. Yeah, we can leave that. We also can leave Erin's. By hacking this and telling it that we want it to have full height. Ooh, the hack did not work. The hack does not work on this one. Let me try one other thing. Nope, it's going to be the same thing. We can't hack this one because it has margin top. Do we get rid of the margin top? No, it's too risky. Well, that's fine. We just tell her that she needs to write more content.
That is how I would solve it.
See, it's cuter. I mean, I still don't like this either. I definitely have to play with this stuff because I'm like I'm not feeling it right now. But I think that everything we've done still demonstrates a lot of helpful information about like the fact that this would show up on all of our pages now. So on this demo site, I will pull up our other page templates and you can see our header is going to appear on all of those. So the blank one wouldn't have anything appear. The home page is already landing. It just removes the title. But Simple is going to remove the content after the header and the content before the footer. And so this one is really good for your accessibility page and any of your legal pages. And then these other ones, the simple header or simple footer, just do one or the other. Like you have the more advanced header, simpler footer, simpler header, more advanced footer. So these ones I feel like are more like niche case. I rarely use them.
I've never touched that in all of my time
I've
playing.
used the simple header on a couple client sites.
Yeah.
And then let's see what pages. This is like just a default page right now. We haven't set this up, so we could create an archive, like a cuter little header area for this, but we haven't yet. But you'll see like it still has our footer information, which I do not feel attached to. We're gonna have to work on this
homework on a weekend. I'm so sad for you. Is it just adjusting colors?
Yes.
Like, no, it's everything.
Oh, my homework that I'm going to give myself? No, I have lots of homework.
Yeah.
At least we have a border there now. That's going to look a little better for this one. Yeah, no, I'm going to give myself, I'm going to overhaul the visuals a little bit because we're getting to the point where we're going to build things and I don't want to keep tweaking the visuals. Like I want us to be able to move on to like make stuff happen. Like we have beat these blocks to be fully boring.
I feel like you've done a lot in just a couple of days. So I'm excited to see where we go. Our big days are tomorrow and Sunday, right? We've got homepage and category pages, which are like the lifeblood of a brand. Now we get to
I think well, hopefully I'll have the blocks looking good. So I feel like the homepage will be really fun because we can just insert stuff. And I think what I'm planning to do is like we'll make one for bloggers with categories, but then Julie, I can't remember her last name right now. Pollitt, said that her husband was going to use it for his construction site, and she sent me the URL for that. So I'm like, and then we can just like build out a second homepage that would be an example of like a landing page for a business, like literally just use his content and build out a homepage. So I feel like that, well, I mean, it's going to be pink and blue, but he can change the colors later. Him, Laura, and I are all going to go in and change the colors and fonts using the design palette. Like there's going to be a bonus day 11. And it's like how to undo the branding. Actually, I feel like that would be really helpful.
I agree.
But the homepage will be fun. And then the category pages, like I don't think people realize how hard they are making their category pages. Like a lot of the old way to do category pages was to like make a page using short codes or widgets and then redirect your category to that landing page. That is a hack. So we're not going to do that.
I really like your system for that. And then I've created little like dummy proof things for myself as well.
Yeah.
Throughout the process, which is really just using your patterns and blocks. So exciting.
Yeah. First, we're going to learn, like, we're just going to learn how to use templates and like set up a category and create some demos. But then a subsequent day, we specifically look at like creating starter patterns. And that is also going to be super cool for people. But that's later, one step at a time. Okay. We're good for now. I'm good for now. We have 2 people left. Laura, do you want to see anything? And then,
do anything? Julie, are you still here? Do you want to see anything? Do you want to see me dance? I'm really good at dancing.
I asked Christopher what the delay was like yesterday, and he said it was a full like 20-second delay.
At least we figured out how we could both be present for this compared to day one, where it was just your screen. I do feel like,
it
even with
couldn't
a
even
delay,
be
it's
my
still more fun.
face.
Okay, well, I think we're at a good stopping point.
Wait, Laura said, oh wait, is she saying she's still here or that she had a question?
I'm pretty sure she said she wanted to see me dance. Okay.
Oh. Are the latest things you created on the demo sites we can create? Oh, because Hannah, we didn't share the live video to the group again.
Ah, bummer. Okay. I'm sending it via email 30 minutes before, but I didn't. Okay. I can work on that tomorrow. Sorry.
Yes, Laura, we have to do the stream to the Facebook page for reasons we don't fully understand about APIs. And so Hannah is planning, she'll email it out. So if you're on the email list, you should get a link, and then she will figure out how to share, post, do something in the group as well.
Well, it's all in an event. So if you actually like say that you're going to attend the daily events, the live stream is pushed through that event. It just unfortunately is through Creator Themes page, not
Yeah,
through
not
the
through the
Feature
group.
Fest group. So I'm just emailing the link to the event. I've only created events though that get us through the weekend. So maybe I'll do my homework and create the events for next week now. I didn't want Lauren to swap up days again and make me have to redo a ton of like ads and images and stuff. So
Yeah.
I felt a little hesitant, but I can commit to that.
Yeah, she did run ads for like the day.
Julie can't
For,
laugh
like,
anymore.
for specific topics. And then I was like, actually, I'm just gonna change this, Hannah. Like, I have to do other things. I don't have time. But I am a little nervous. I'm not gonna have time to do stuff before tomorrow. So we're gonna have to just figure it out.
It's all gonna work out.
Okay, Julie, I'm trying to answer your question about the latest things on the site for you to be able to play with. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm gonna have to try it. So essentially, I set up a template and it's connected to the site I'm playing with. So I think it should just clone whatever version of the site I have.
But did it?
I haven't clicked on it recently, so I think maybe I'll just go click on it. This is my first time using this. I like Googled how I could let people create sites. And then even after this trial, it's like $9 a month. I think I can afford $9. I love that. Why does it say
I'm the
total
penny
6?
pincher. Oh,
It wasn't
weird.
showing me the latest block. So maybe I just make a new one every day.
Okay.
I was looking for a place where it would tell me like to update it or refresh it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see anything in here that would do that.
I love that you're actually playing with this, Julie.
Okay, let me do this. Oh, create template. I don't know. That's today 3, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Has some blocks. Shared, save.
So official.
Okay. So this one's going to create, and I'm going to send this. I'm going to actually just like post it here before we end. That way you can play with it. Oh, look at this. Sync from site, guys. Maybe people want day 1 versus day 3. Who am I to say? Well, why wasn't that anywhere easier to find? Come on now. Okay, it's cool. I should go in and change the brand colors now that I know. Yes, the brand colors, the brand fonts, like I'm gonna make it feel like a site I would use by the end of it. But I think where it's at, I need to just lean into that a little bit more. So, and versus trying to make it like what I want. See, exactly. Agree. User interface. Okay, I'm gonna do this again tomorrow. I will hope to have blocks that I like a little bit more that I feel like are a little like more fun at that time as well. And if you guys are able to make it, that'd be super fun.
Invite your friends.
Yeah, Hannah's like, make it a thing. Hey, we are up to 3 whole people, so we're like crushing it right now. Every
Yeah.
day an extra person.
Mhm.
I'm actually having a lot of fun either way. I got really nervous because a big name joined our group, like someone that I follow, and I was like, "What if he attends? I won't be able to do this."
I was pretty
So
sure I was going to drive Lauren crazy because I said, "Oh, X name asked to join the group." And her face just crumbled. I was like, "Oh no, what did I say?" Poor girl. I'm so excited. I hope that he attends. I hope that lots of people attend. I hope that we have a really big weekend now that people are home from Tastemaker. I
I
think
think
that
it'll
whole
be
changing
more fun
category
once I have
pages.
more blocks done
Yeah.
too. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have more fun, like, putting stuff together. So, okay. Thanks, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye guys. Happy Friday.